Hello everyone, Nero Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and yes, we are running the gauntlet, going through all these Black Clover decks. This is going to be a busy week for the channel. I need to make all these Black Clover decks, and then I also need to touch up on Bleach Volume 2. I am doing the Bleach Volume 2 decks after Black Clover, only because if I don't get around to it, at least this is the newer set, and then Bleach Volume 2, at least there is some support out already for it. But in today's video, we are going to be talking about a Asta Yuno deck. This is another green deck. I've already done a deck profile for the green captain deck. You guys check that out on the channel. I'll link it in the description below, but this green Yuno and Asta deck is a much lower to the ground aggro green deck that also has to deal with having you know, the 3 cost characters on the top of your deck to get some added value. And it should be pretty fast, low to the ground, providing some power for your opponent to have to, you know, either try to block or get through, or just don't block at all. It'll be interesting to see how this deck plays. I will be probably building this for my brother. So this is just a good deck list that you guys can take and use it for this, you know, upcoming weekend. Your local game store should be having these decks available for you for the pre-release, which would be really cool. But getting on with the deck profile, we are running 4 of the Yuno of the Golden Dawn, 4 energy, 1 action point, 4000 BP, 1 energy generator, and this is the best card in the deck. I know the Yuno is one of the most important cards, but this guy really brings it all together, and that's why I'm showcasing him first. His effect may not make as much sense until we get to the Asta. You do raid on top of Yuno. When played, if Asta is on your field, look at the top card of your deck, then place it at the top or bottom of your deck, which is going to help you out a lot, right? When attacking, reveal the top card of your deck, then place it at the top or bottom of your deck. If the reveal card is a green character or sight card with 3 required energy, 1 AP cost, you may place 1 card from your hand into your sideline, then play the revealed card set to resting on your field or perform raid with it. Oh, this is such a good effect. You're going to stack the top of your deck with this Yuno, and then use this Yuno when attacking to play that character out, rest it to your field. And this is how you're able to swarm the board on your opponent, by playing them with these little bodies. And then if you don't do that, then you just get to raid your Astas, which is really good. This card is so amazing and really strong. One thing to note, that in building this deck, I was trying to find room for, there is a 3 energy raid Nero, which goes into the black swallowtail, which is really good for the deck. But the deck seems really tight on space, and I'm not quite sure how to fit that package in this deck when you do really want to run that card, because you want to be able to raid into that swallowtail and then tap your opponent's stuff down and not let them get value. I do think that that is absolutely needed in the deck, but until we do some play testing, I'm not sure where to find space for it. One of the main ways I was thinking about doing it was taking out this Julius Nova Chrono, but I do think that you want to run the double energy generator and the color trigger. But going down the line, we are going to skip the Yuno to talk about the Asta. This is our 3 energy, 1 action point Asta. 3500 plus BP generates you 1 energy. You do raid on top of Asta, and it has a really cool effect saying your opponent cannot activate draw abilities during trigger checks resulting from damage dealt by this character. So really good. You go in to swing in for some damage. If it's a draw trigger, they don't get to do it, which is really cool, staying on theme with Asta, negating some magic, right? During your turn, if Yuno is on your field, all characters on your field gain 500 BP. He doesn't just boost himself, he boosts all your characters. That means now your Yuno is going to be a 4500 body, which will come in clutch big time. Now, this is only during your turn, so there is a little downfall of it, but you are raiding for only 3 energy, which is kind of crazy anyways. When attacking, reveal the top card of your deck. If the reveal card has 3 energy, required energy, this character gains impact until the end of your turn. Place the reveal card on the top or bottom of your deck. So you use the Yuno effect to, you know, stack your deck, and you can use this Asta to stack your deck. Either way, they both play with each other, whichever one you want to play out first, and then this Asta will get impact, which is super strong. You can see that this is a very aggressive early game deck with these low energy costs and the impact. Now, there is another Yuno that you want to run that is a kind of a big one. 3 energy, 1 action point, and it says 3000 plus BP and 1 energy generation. During your turn, if Asta's on your field, this character gains 500 BP. So 3500, not bad. And then when playing, you may return 1 other character on your field to your hand. If you do, switch this character to active. So this is just how you get another, you know, pretty decent body on the board. You bounce one of your smaller characters back to your hand. A lot of times you're going to want to bounce your Nero that you tap to generate the double energy, and then bounce it back to your hand so you don't have to worry about that. That is going to be the main play you want to do with the deck. Now we're going to the 4 of the Julius Nova Chrono, and this is the color trigger of the deck. It's 2500 BP. It does generate you double energy, and I think having a double energy like this just makes this deck so consistent, because you can keep this Julius in the background, and then now you only need to play one other character to keep you at that coveted 3 energy cost, is just where you want to be at, and he just makes it easier to do that. And that's why I didn't find room for those Swallowtail, the Nero raid, but I do think that we need to find some room in the deck. But he is 3 energy, 1 action point. When played, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 card among them to your hand. Any card. Place the remaining cards from the top of your deck on the top of your deck in any order. If you added a card from your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. So you look at the top 3, you grab any cards you want, then you stack your deck. You want to be able to put a 3 energy in there, right? Which is really, really good. Going down the line, we are only running 3 of this Asta, which is going to be one of your really aggressive Astas that help you kind of push early in the game, which is what this deck wants to do. It is 2 energy, 1 action point, but it says you may treat this card as if its required energy is 3 while it's in your deck. So if you stack this Asta on top of your deck, you will be able to play it out with your Yuno effect, because it will be considered a 3 cost energy. It has Nullified Impact, which is really strong. 3000 plus BP, 1 energy generation. It says if Yuno is on your field during your turn, this character gains 500 BP, so it will be 3500. You can see now where you're able to press the state of the game against your opponent big time, and this card also gives you a really good defensive factor. Nullifying Impact, but it does not have a trigger. You can see here we are at the coveted 41, so at least 40 triggers in the deck. Only 3 of the 2 energy, 1 action point Yuno. It is 3000 BP, which is kind of good stat lines for a 2-drop, right? 1 energy generation. It is a draw trigger in life, and it has step, sticking on theme, with Yuno being able to move back and forth with his wind spirit. Only 2 of the Sister Lily. I do think that this is also a really important card in the deck, because it is your searcher. 2 energy, 1 action point. 2000 BP, 1 energy generator, and it is a draw trigger in life, which is nice. And she says, when played, reveal the top card of your deck. If the reveal card is an Asta or Yuno, add it to your hand. If the reveal card is any other card, place it on the top or bottom of your deck. So it is a searcher for the Asta or Yuno, which is really, really great, because then you don't have to trash a card. So it is a free searcher that doesn't make you trash. But if it's any other card, now you get to stack it, right? You get to fix your deck to be able to pop off with your plays. I do think this is a really important consistency piece, but I do feel like you want to see as many Yunos and Astas as possible. With that being said, there are a lot of good ones, so I am only running 2 of the 1 energy, 1 action point, 2000 BP, 1 energy generator, and it says step. When played, if Asta's on your field, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Place any number of them on the top of your deck in any order, then place any remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. So if Asta's out, you play this character. This is going to be one of the bodies that you play early on the front line, just to have a body out there, because it has, good blocking potential, being at 2000 instead of the 15, and it has step to be able to fix your energy line. And if you have the Asta, you get to stack your deck to promote your plays later on. We are going to run 2 of this Nero. Like I said, running the raid for the Nero feels kind of hard in the deck, because then it makes you want to max out on these other Neros, which is kind of an issue when the spot is so limited in the deck. And if you don't run the double energy generator Julius, you're going to find yourself wanting to have 4 characters on your back line, which I think really slows the deck down a little bit. But with that being said, we are running 2 of the 1 energy, 1 action point Nero, 2000 BP, pretty decent stats, 1 energy generation, a draw trigger in life, and it says when played, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand into the sideline, which is really good. Good consistency piece for the deck. And we are running 2 of our double energy bouncer. You just play Lumiere. You have to bounce a 1 cost or less back to your hand, and he generates you double energy for 1 energy and 1 action point. Really good card for the deck. 2 of the Neros that I was talking about earlier. 0 energy, 1 action point Nero. No trigger. 1000 BP, generates you 1 energy. But activate main switch to resting once per turn. This character gains an extra energy generation till the end of the turn, but you must sideline it at the end of the main phase. Like I said, what you want to do is use that Nero to pop you up to the 4, and then you can play this Yuno to bounce that character back to your hand, so then you don't need to lose that Nero. You almost always want to try to do this combo so you're keeping the Nero in your hand. You don't want to miss out on that. It is such a free play, and it feels really, really good to do so. Because honestly, even if you just have another 1 energy generator on your back line, if you tap the Nero, now you're at 3, then you can play the Yuno to bounce the Nero back to your hand. Really good plays. 0 energy, 1 action point Yuno, 2000 BP, 1 energy generation. It is an active trigger, and it is not a get trigger, which is a little unfortunate, which is why we are choosing to run, you know, some of these other Yunos down here to help us be able to make sure we have more Yunos than we do Astas to be able to rate into this Yuno, because I think it is super, super important. And then we are running 4 of the 0 energy, 1 action point Asta, 1500 BP, get trigger in life, which is awesome to see, and 1 energy generation, meaning that we can get away with playing a little less of the Astas to go into this raid Asta, because this is a get trigger, so we are going to see it, as opposed to the Yuno not being a get trigger here, or here, or here, right? So you're going to have to draw into your Yunos, so I think that's why we're trying to run a couple more different Yunos, because none of these are get triggers, which makes it a little hard to see him, and I do think that this should be enough of the Yunos. Now, going into the events and sites, we just have 3 of our final triggers. I won't give up on you. It only costs you 3 energy, 1 action point. We do have our special trigger, which is Rivals, 3 energy, 1 action point, so it doesn't cost a lot to use this special trigger in life. And it says choose 1 character with 2000 less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. If either Asta or Yuno is on your field, 4000. If they are both on your field, 5000. So you're always going to sideline a 2k or less, which is not bad for 3 energy. But if Asta or Yuno, 4, and if they both are on there, 5. The, you know, getting to the 4 should be pretty easy with, you know, considering how much. The getting to the 5 may be a little harder, but honestly shouldn't be very hard at all. And rounding it out, we are running 2 of the Clover Kingdom. We saw it in the last deck profile. It is a get trigger in life. It does add 1 energy for you generation. It costs you 3 energy, 1 action point. I do wish that this one only cost you 2 to play it, and I think it would feel probably a little bit smoother in the deck, but that may have been a little too busted, you know, playing 1 for that. But you get to play this site as active, look at the top card of your deck, then place it at top or bottom, so it's going to help you with your effects to stack your deck with a 3 cost, and then activate main, switch to resting all characters on your field, and gave 500 BP until the end of the turn. This card is really, really important in being able to boost this Yuno up to the 45, and then using your other boost effects to boost it again up to the 5000, which is going to help you out a lot. That is the deck profile for this deck. I do think that this is going to be a really good deck. I do think that Yuno and Asta are really good combo cards. I do think that, you know, we need to all as a community kind of figure out how to build this deck the best way, right? I think that once that happens, then this deck will see some really good play. I do see this being a really, really strong deck, and you know, once I get to play around the cards, I'll do another deck profile for this video, because I feel like this one definitely needs to include the raid for the Nero, but I just don't know how you find the space for it. It may be that you have to, you know, cut down on some of these other cards and run like 3 ofs of stuff, but that is you know, a video for another day. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. In the comments below, I want to hear what deck you're most excited to see built, and don't forget, on the channel I have posted a survey asking everyone what their favorite deck from the set is, which deck you're most excited to build and play. I do want as many people as possible to participate in this survey, because I'm going to try to take this data, I'm going to try to do this for every set now in the future to see just how popular a deck is correlates to whether it performs well and how well it does in like competitive tournaments and how many people are actually playing the decks, right? But with that being said, I appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.